Camilla from Written Word Calligraphy. I want to introduce to you guys our brand new practice pads. So when I started my business 12 years ago, practice pads were one of my first few products, and it feels like I've gone full circle because we've updated them a few times, and this is the most recent update of our practice pads. I can't wait to show you guys what's new about these practice pads and what's better about them. Let's take a look. So when I first created the practice pads, they were intended for our workshop students because they had just taken a crash course on modern calligraphy and they want to continue practicing, and at that time they would have only learned the lowercase alphabet. So these ones have different calligraphy explorations, and also we separated it from the uppercase. Let's take a look at what's inside. So it has some instructions on how to use these practice pads, like what we recommend for our pens, pointed nibs, and inks. So this particular practice pad, we highly recommend using a calligraphy pen and nib, and then you would also be dipping it into ink. So we've got here our inkwell as well as Sumi ink in our ink bottle. We don't really recommend writing with fountain pens on these. But if you really do want to practice with different kinds of pens, you could always put a piece of vellum on top of this paper and then trace over the letters. That's also another way that you can maximize the use of these practice pads, because yeah, like some of my followers are like, or my customers are like, Carla, it's too pretty to write on, like it's so intimidating. So that's okay. We did try to make these practice pads aesthetically pleasing with this blind letterpress and foil on it. This paper is ink friendly, but if you want additional practice, putting vellum sheets on top are a great option to do that. Also has instructions on like how to install the nib, how to dip into it, the key angles, paper positioning, and of course how to write and the different lines and guidelines. We did change up the guidelines this time around, so you can take note of that more in this pad. And then we've got the practice drills. So we've extended these practice drills more. We've added a few new ones this particular version. And so there's 2 sheets of the practice drills. And then we go into the letters. So the letters are not in alphabetical order because we made them into the order of difficulty. So we start with letter I, which is the easiest one. And it has 2 lines each of this different styles of calligraphy. So on the top here has instructions for the first one, but I hope that the next few ones should be fairly easy to follow. And there's 2 sheets per letter. So it continues on. So after the 6 styles, then you've got the entry and exit and some flourishing as well. So we added a little bit of flourishing to these letters. And then we've got double letter ones. So we got 3 different styles of the double letter ones. And this cycle continues through the rest of the letters. So we start with the smallest letters like the I's, the C's, A's, O's, U's. And then we go into the ascender letters. So I believe we start with the letter T because that's, or the letter L. It's the easiest one in terms of the taller letters. And then we've got also the letter T's. And then we go down to the midpoint letters like the F's. And then descenders, got J's, and so much more. And then after the letters are done, we've got letters Z, Z here. We've got the connecting letters as well. So this section has also been improved and rewritten. We wrote them all again, as I know, because my calligraphy style has also evolved over the years. So we've got those letter combinations, the most common ones, at least in the English alphabet. And then we've got common words. And I believe that should be it. No, we've got one last one. Got the common phrases. Yeah. So got a few pages of that. All in all, we've got 65 pages of writing in this practice pad. Lots of practice that you could do. It'll take you hours to go through this pad for real. Then we've got the uppercase practice pad. So similar, very similar intro, we've got the instructions, how to use it. We've got the practice rules that are specific for uppercase letters. And then we go into the letters. So the letters also have 2 sheets per, have the instructions on the top. It also has 6 different styles. And then we actually go into letter connections here as well, because there's, most of the capital letters, you don't have entries and exits for them. So we exchange that instead into letter connections. So this time around, it's in alphabetical order because they're pretty similar in the way that they are laid out. And then all the way to Z. And then after that, we've got numbers and punctuations because those are also important to learn in modern calligraphy. And then we've got common words, names, and phrases. So we kind of just put them all in one place because we wanted to maximize the practice pad to have as much text as possible for you guys to practice with. And just like the lowercase practice pad, these ones also have 65 pages of practice. And if you want to maximize them, definitely put in the vellum sheet for you to practice on. All right, you guys, if you want to pick up these practice pads, they're available individually or as a bundle together, or they're really good with the starter kits because the starter kit already has a workbook, but this one really gives you an exploration of the different styles in calligraphy, and that way you can continue your growth in learning modern calligraphy. I'll put the link in the description box, and make sure you tag me when you're writing with them or post a review about them. I can't wait to see you guys enjoy these practice pads and really develop your calligraphy skills. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye for now.